Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nello. On this channel, we love to talk about tech, data, and AI. And at the end of this video, you're going to have a working workflow that sends automated emails based on a trigger of your choice. To simplify that a little bit, we're going to create an AI agent using n8n to take care of your emails. Let's get into it. First things first, what is n8n? n8n is an open source workflow automation tool that lets you connect services and apps without writing a single line of code. Think of tools like Zapier and Make, but this is more flexible and self-hosted. Today, we'll use it to send out automatic emails when a trigger happens. Let's get into it. Before we jump into it, here's what you need: a free n8n cloud account or a local setup, a Gmail or STMP compatible email account, and about 10 minutes of your time. This is not going to take too long. Okay, so this is going to be the n8n tutorial, guys. I'm going to show you guys how to do like a really quick AI automation, email automation using n8n. I have my Loom here because I want you guys to kind of see my face. Honestly, I'm still figuring out how to do this stuff. So you guys are going to be super gracious with me as we work through this together. There is a 14 days trial when you sign up for n8n. So you can take advantage of that to play around with n8n. I do think that the tool is very user friendly, and I'm going to show you guys how to use it so you don't have to be intimidated by it. It does require understanding how the different integrations work, but it really is, there's no code needed, nothing at all. It's very user friendly. So we're going to start off with creating a brand new workflow. I'm just going to create a new workflow, as you guys can see on my screen. And the first thing is going to say add first step. You can actually use an existing template. You can find an existing template, or you can start from scratch. We're just going to go from scratch. The first thing we need to do is let's add a chat. So we're going to add a chat because we want to converse with the AI agent. So the first thing we need is a chat. And then we're going to add the AI agent, right? So let's go ahead and search for AI agent. That's it. We're going to add the AI agent. So here is some configuration that is being shown for right now. Let's just leave this as is right now. Let's go back. Now we have like the chat, and then we have the AI agent. The next thing we're going to include is the large language model. Now, you guys already know there's almost no way to use an AI without a language model. And so we're going to go ahead and select a model. As you can see here, there are different options. You can use AWS Bedrock. There's some from Google, the Gemini ones. There's Mistra. There's Olama, so many Grok. We're just going to go OpenAI because I already have an OpenAI account. It will ask you to connect your API key. So if you have an OpenAI account, all you need to do is go to your OpenAI account and basically grab or create a new API key. You can see I'm just going to create one. All of this I am doing just for this video for illustrative purposes. I'm just going to say AI agent key here. I've done this before. This is my second time doing this. So I'm going to say create sticky key. I'm going to copy this key. Copy, make sure that's copied, done. So go back to n8n, paste my key, save, connection tested successfully. As you can see, it is now connected. The API key is saved. So we're going to exit out of here. Let's just go ahead and save this. We're going to go back. As you can see, our API is now connected. So for this chat, let's just call this chat option test chat. We have the large language model already connected. All right, so let's add a memory. We're going to just add simple memory. And a memory is required because it will help store the conversation. So as you can see here, I just added this simple memory. Let's go ahead and try out what we have right now. The setup we have right now. I'm just going to type hello. And as you can see, if I say hello, it runs, it communicates with a large language model, and then it replies, say, hi dear, how can I help you? And I can just say, I need to know today's date, and let's see what comes back. So today is June 7th, 2024. How can I assist you further? So we can already see that the large language model is working, it's communicating through the chat, but we really wanted to send emails for us. So we are going to go ahead and include a new tool. This is going to go to memory. And then we're going to go ahead and add a tool. We're going to add the Gmail tool. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to add new credentials. For me, I'm just going to sign in with my Google account. I am currently using my Gmail account, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign into it. So once you put in your password, it's going to ask you to grant access. I'm just going to give it all access because I want it to be able to write and read for me. Depending on how much you want, you just have to connect both applications. Really, really easy. Account connected, we can see that. So there are other things that you can go ahead and configure here. You have the operation here. You can either select the operation that you want it to do. In my case, we're going to select send because we want it to actually go ahead and send messages for us. You can select mark as read, an agent that basically reads your emails for you. Mark as unread, remove label, whatever. I want it to actually send emails, right? So I'm going to do that. Now, this is one thing I really like about n8n. There are options where you allow the agent to define parameters, and I'm going to go ahead and select that here. You can also basically add other options here. So let's go ahead and select that. Let's save. So we're going to test this out. Now let's just say email type text resource. Let's put it as draft here, just so we can practice, right? Let's go back. So we can say send Mary an email letting her know I will can't type. I like to meet with her tomorrow. Send Mary an email letting her know that I would like to meet with her tomorrow. So if I tell the agent to do that, you can see it's processing. And what ends up happening is node executed. If I go to my drafts, I'm just going to refresh this. You can see that both drafts are here. So I said one for Jane, one for Mary. So it says, hi, Jane, I would like to meet with you tomorrow. Please let me know a convenient time. Hi, Mary, I would like to meet you tomorrow. Please let me know a convenient time. Best regards. So the first thing I want you guys to note is that it is empty, right? The tool is empty. It doesn't have access to my contact list just yet. So that's the next thing we're going to try to fix. We're going to ensure that this n8n actually has access to my contact list. So let's just create a contact list. A quick contact list in Google Sheets. We're going to call this first name. We're going to call this last name, and we're going to call this email, right? First name, let's call this Jane. Last name, let's call this Jackson. And then the email, we're going to use one of my emails because I want to be able to get this email. Again, this is just for illustrative purposes, guys. This is going to be Chinelo. We're going to call this one Oyekwe. And then I'm going to give it a different email to Chinelo. I'm going to use my other email here. We now have this contact list. We have the first name, last name, and email. So we're going to go back to the n8n workflow. And what we are going to do is add a sheet. We're going to add Google Sheets 2 as our contact list. So same thing with how you kind of added Gmail. It's going to ask you, Google is Google. So it's just going to ask you to authenticate that you are allowing n8n to have access to your Google Sheets account. In my case, I'm going to say yes. So the connection is successful, as you can see. So I'm just going to go back, resource, sheet within document. It's going to ask, what document do I want? I'm going to say contact list. Sheet is only one sheet, so sheet 1. So I think that that's okay right now. I want us to rename that. See where it says get rows in G sheet? I'm going to call this get contact. So the first thing, we have created the get contact sheets here. And basically this is where the AI agent is going to pull contacts from. The next thing we want to do is go to like the Gmail, and you can actually configure like a lot of things in Gmail. But right here where it says options, I went ahead to select to email, and I'm going to allow the model to define this because I want the model to be able to like just think by itself and figure out where to pull the emails from. The next thing to actually note is on the AI agent itself, I'm going to just specify here. Initially, it just had you are a helpful assistant here. I'm going to specify that I wanted to get the emails from the get contact tool. This is going to be really helpful. So by the time I say, hey, send an email to XYZ, he knows that he needs to go to the Google Sheet and pull the email address before it sends an email. Let's just go ahead and test that out. So in our contact list here, we have Jane and we have Chinelo. So I'm going to come here and say, send Jane an email letting her know that we need to meet for an important conversation this week. So I'm going to send it, and you can see the AI agent is thinking, the LLM is thinking, get contact and everything. Create a draft in Gmail. Everything has been executed successfully. Let us go to the draft. And if I refresh my draft, important conversation this week. The core thing I want you guys to notice is that the contact is now updated. The first two times we did this, it didn't have any contact information. So we have successfully updated the contact information just by adding the contact Google Sheets. So that part is done. The last thing we're going to do is just hook up our calendar to what we currently have. As you guys can see, this can send any email to like your contact list based on the emails you have on Google Sheets. I'm going to do two things. Actually, give it a sign off message. So I'm going to say sign off on emails as, let's just say, Nello Techie. And then after this, I would say current date and time is we're going to say now. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be able to tell AI agent to schedule calendar meetings for me, and he knows basically like the date and the time that I'm talking about. So it's basically going to use now as a way to tell when to schedule like my meetings, right? To tell what date and time I need this meeting set up. The next thing I'm going to do is just to add the Google Calendar tool. I'm going to go ahead and add calendar right here. As you can see, there's Google Calendar tool. It's obviously going to ask me to sign in with my Google as well. I'm going to do that, my Google account. Make sure that I'm giving n8n access to my Google account. This is like very easy to set up, guys. It is not difficult at all. I don't want any of you to be intimidated by this. Obviously, the option we want is to create, and there are so many other things that you can do with this. So just feel free to experiment with it. From list calendar, let's select my email. Okay, so now we have that. We're going to save it. Always make sure you save your workflow. So I'm going to ask you to schedule a meeting with Chinelo for Tuesday, July 8th for 4 p.m. For 4 p.m. CST. So let's try to schedule a meeting for Chinelo for Tuesday, July 8th for 4 p.m. CST. It's running, it's processing. Okay, node executed successfully. As you can see, the invite is on there. And if we refresh, the email is there. Meeting scheduled for Tuesday, July 8th at 4 p.m. And then it also scheduled the invite. I have a little bit of a gap with like my dates. Clearly something is not like working. It is scheduling for Sunday, but definitely that's something that I will need to troubleshoot. But as you can see, it does work. I just need to figure out how to get it to get the right date. It does say on here that the current date and time is this. So there might be a gap somewhere. I need to figure out where the gap is. I think that's a really good way to show you guys how it works. As you guys can see, it went ahead to schedule the call as well as send an email And don't forget, I don't want to send out any emails right now, so I have all the emails going to draft, but you can set it up where it sends out email on its own. And that is it for this video, really. As you guys can see, it is not that difficult to set up something, and it is a very simple workflow. It can get as complex as you want it to be, but if you want to start playing around with like beginner friendly AI agents, I definitely feel like this is a really good place to start. So if that's you, you've built your first email automation in n8n. I hope you found this video helpful, and as always, I'll see you next week.